You see, Al-Quran, it was subjected, it was scrutinized by some learned people. And they asked Quran, after programming it in a computer, that, are you from God? Quran says, I am of non-human author. Quran is of non-human author. They now asked Quran, why? Quran says, it contains 262 Odokini, Odokeji, tó fi dé 24 septillions miracles. Now, one of the miracles is the arrangement of revelation of Allah to Prophet Muhammad in Al-Quran.
Hi there. You heard it from the horse's mouth. The Quran was speaking from inside the computer. They programmed the computer. I don't know how. Squeezed it into programmed the Quran, squeezed it into the computer, and they were interrogating the Quran. They were interrogating the Quran, and the Quran was responding. They were asking the Quran this one, and then the Quran was talking with people. Do you believe that insanity? But that's what we get in Nigerian Dawah. That's the kind of nonsense that people like Mallam Adepoju propagate, and their followers, they just swallow everything hook, line, and sinker. Now, in this video, what I want to do is revisit that issue, and let's see who exactly was he referring to when he said some people programmed the Quran and then this and that. We want to see who exactly he was referring to. And to be able to do that, I want you to listen to him again. So that it doesn't look like I am framing things up. Muslims don't listen to anything. They don't. That's why I repeat things. That's why I replay things. So let's just listen to him one more time. So here he comes again.
You see, Al-Quran, it was subjected. It was scrutinized by some learned people.
You heard it there. Some learned people, which he will never mention because he doesn't know what he's talking about. He heard it and then he jumped on the bandwagon. We are here to expose him. So it was scrutinized, almost saying squeezed. You know who was squeezed in the cave? Maybe the Quran too was squeezed so that it could enter properly into the computer. Wow. The Quran was squeezed into the computer. Okay, so after that, what happened? Go on.
And they asked Quran.
So they asked the Quran,
after programming it in a computer, that, are you from God?
So they were asking the computer, and they were asking the Quran inside the computer, are you from God? And the Quran was responding from within the computer.
Quran says, I am of non-human author.
Imagine that. Look at Brother Sunday. Look at his face, saying, wow, what is this? Is this true? Wow. The Quran was responding from inside the computer. Who believes this nonsense? Only a Muslim could believe it. But let him continue. Just a few more seconds.
Quran is of non-human author.
Wow.
They now asked Quran,
wow,
why?
Imagine.
Quran says it contains 262 Odokini, Odokeji.
So when he says Odokeji, he's talking about 0. So the Quran says it contains 200 and what? 22. I think he should say that place again. Then 24 zeros after that. Go on.
Non-human author. Quran is of non-human author.
That's what the Quran says.
They now asked Quran, why?
Why?
Quran says it contains 262 Odokini.
So the Quran contains 262, then 24 zeros after that. That's the Quran talking.
Odokeji tó fi dé 24 septillions miracles.
Those are the number of miracles in the Quran. And the Quran is the one saying this. The people that squeezed the computer, programmed the computer into why am I saying the computer? The Quran. They squeezed the Quran. They programmed the Quran, pushed it inside, scrutinized it into the computer. And then after that, they were now conducting interview. They were asking the computer, asking the Quran inside the computer, this and this. And the Quran was responding, was talking to them. Imagine this.
Now, one of the miracles.
So, one of the miracles that since the computer had said 262, 00, maybe, I don't know whether he means 00 in 24 places or maybe he means times 10 raised to power. That's, of course, that's what it means, but he didn't put it that way. So, and then one of them, this is 262, that would be 2.62 times 10 raised to power 26. Because if you have 262, then you add 2, you have 24 zeros. If you actually put it into standard form, it will be 2.62 times 10 raised to power 26. That's what it will be, times 10 raised to power 26. Those are the number of miracles in the computer, in the Quran, according to the Quran, from the mouth of Yusuf. And one of them, which I'm going to speak about in the next video, one of them is the miracle of number 19.
Is the arrangement of revelation of Allah to Prophet Muhammad in Al-Quran.
Okay, it's the arrangement. It's the arrangement. And from arrangement, he went into 96 and then got number 19 and all that kind of thing. Do you believe this? So I've promised that I want to show this man's abject ignorance. He's very, very ignorant. Very ignorant. He doesn't know what he's talking about. So I'm going to bring a knowledgeable Muslim to come and refute him. Watch. This is Dr. Yasakadi. He lectures at the University of Yale University in the United States. And he studied at the University of Medina. And you know, he speaks Arabic. He understands this language. He knows the Quran. He lectures. What he actually lectures in the University of Yale is Quranic and Arabic studies. That's his specialization. So he knows what he's talking about. He's going to give us more information about what Yusuf Adepoju was talking about. Let's listen to Yasakadi. Take it away.
Sure. It has a very interesting recent history to it, where around 30 years ago, around 30 or so years ago, somebody by the name of Rashad Khalifa here in America, in Arizona.
So you've heard the name of the person that started it. What did Yusuf Adepoju said? What did he say? He said the Quran was squeezed. He didn't say squeezed. He said scrutinized, programmed by some knowledgeable people. Some knowledgeable. But Yasakari is telling us there's nothing like some knowledgeable people. It is only one person known as Rashad Khalifa. Let him from Arizona he was actually a professor in the US. Go on.
He began propagating a very bizarre theory called the 19 theory of the Quran, the miracle of the 19.
Did you hear that? So he began propagating a bizarre, you know the meaning of bizarre? If you don't know, go and check. A bizarre theory of the miracle of 19. Go ahead.
And unfortunately, our esteemed Sheikh and teacher, somebody we all love and admire, Sheikh Ahmed Didat, for a while, he picked this up. And
so Ahmed Didat is a late Muslim cleric from South Africa. For a while, he believed Rashad Khalifa and started propagating this whole nonsense. And all the other people from the world, because Ahmed Didat was a foremost cleric at that time, many people just followed him And that's how the thing spread to Nigeria. But from other places, it has ended. It has practically ended. I think the last person that spoke about this 19 and this programming and this computer, I think the last person I heard it from should be, what is his name? Shabir Ali, about 10 years ago, when he had a debate with Dr. J. Smith. And since then, I've never heard Shabir Ali talk about that thing again. But you see, the stupidity continues in Nigeria, because Nigerian Muslims are very backward and ignorant. I'm sorry if you're knowledgeable and you're a Muslim, but I'm talking generally. They don't know anything. Look at those crowd in Adepoju's programs. Those girls that know nothing other than to just wear hijab, and those women that know nothing other than to wear that veil, and those men that know nothing other than to have beard and then wear what do they wear all about? I think they wear this thing they call these long flowing gowns. That's all they know. That's all their religion. But empty of knowledge, empty of anything, and yet they go about calling other people ignorant. So go on.
And for a few years, he was also propagating this theory until Sheikh Ahmed Deedat realized that this person is a very, very dangerous, evil liar.
Did you hear that? So Ahmed Deedat continued propagating it until he realized that Rashad Khalifa was a dangerous, evil liar. Not from my mouth, from Sheikh Yasakadi, who is a professor in Yale University in the USA. So he knows what he's talking about.
And fabricator, and so Sheikh Ahmed Deedat rejected this and recanted from this theory.
Did you hear that? So Sheikh Ahmed Deedat, who is now late, stopped this nonsense once he realized, no, this is not going to end well for us. This is a lie. But Nigerian Muslims are not going to stop. Adepoju will not stop. He will not stop. Okay, what happened after?
Of 19, but Rashad Khalifa continued to propagate this theory that there is something of a miraculous 19 repetition of the Quran, and he released a number of books that this word occurs a multiple of 19 times, this letter occurs a multiple of 19 times. Turns out that pretty much all of it was fabricated. Like, who's going to actually...
Do you understand that? Pretty much all of that, pretty much everything was fabricated. But let him continue.
Sit and count the number of letters or words. So he's fabricating. And so he was saying that it is so intricate that the Quran is saying that there are 19.
Did you hear that? That the Quran is saying, this is where Adepoju picked the whole thing. This is all nonsense. This is where he picked it from.
Repetitions. But of course, the Quran is talking about the angels of Jahannam and how many they are. He took this verse and he concocted a very elaborate theory.
He concocted. Look, listen to all these verbs and adjectives. Bizarre, liar, dangerous, evil, concocting.
That he used computers at the time. He was actually a professor of computer science.
Did you hear that? He was a professor of computer science. This is what Adepoju is referring to.
University of Arizona, and because computers were still new, people didn't have access to them. This is the late 70s, early 80s. So he began propagating this really bizarre theory, and in the process, he ended up rejecting the Sunnah in totality. He ended up rejecting some verses of the Quran because they did not fit his theory.
You had it. He ended up rejecting the Sunnah, the Muslim community, the practice of Muhammad. And then he ended up rejecting some ayahs in the Quran that did not fit. That did not fit the theory. He threw them away. And what is Adepoju telling us? He's telling us that he has done his own research. He's done his own research. Listen to him again. Here is Adepoju. Yeah, go on.
And I will explain to you. If sincerely you are searching for the truth.
Please go ahead.
Good. Quran chapter 96. That was the first revelation.
Okay.
But Allah inspired the compilers to put that chapter 96 in the 96th position of Al-Quran. Now, we have 114 chapters in Al-Quran.
And so he just went on, blah, blah, blah. I will deal with the area of his this 19 stuff, I'm going to deal with it in a separate video. So I'm not going to allow this one to drag for too long. I just wanted to share with you where he got the idea that some people, put the Quran in the computer and programmed it and scrutinized it and asked the Quran some questions, and the Quran was responding to them. I just wanted to expose this to see that the Nigerian Muslims they are ignorant. They're ignorant, pretty much ignorant. They don't know anything. And they're not going to do their homework. There's no homework that is done in Islam. It's just garbage in, garbage out. So let me know what you think about this video. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay away from Islam. Thank you and God bless you.